So I think let's wait for others to join. I can see some others are joining, so that we start in the next 1 minute, inshallah. So I believe we are all going through what we are having, and everyone is at least understanding some little one or two things. If you have any question, you will jot it down. So at the end of the class, we are going to discuss on that. Or if you have some contributions or some suggestions, actually. Now we have 6 people on ground. So I will continue with the sharing of my screen so that we have a contribution. Please don't forget to mute yourself. The reason for allowing you to be able to mute and unmute yourself is in case of anyone has an issue or there is something you cannot see or have a question. So I think we are going to continue. This is exactly, okay, exactly 10:52. We are going to continue class. So I'll share my screen. Sure. So I believe, can everyone see my screen? Please, can we all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. All right, we're discussing on the components of the computer where we took the input unit or the input devices. The input devices, which, please, who is that? Please mute yourself, please. Ahmed C. Umar, please mute yourself. Let me mute you from here. All right. So let's see one of the device, which is an input device, which is the keyboard. We said the keyboard, it is the primary input unit device. A standard computer has 104 keys. Most keyboard uses the QWERTY layout, the QWERTY. What is the QWERTY? When you look at your keyboard, when you are typing on your phone, for those that are using keyboard, I believe everyone is using a smartphone. You see that the first alphabet on your keyboard is Q, followed by W, followed by E, followed by R, followed by T. So this is the QWERTY layout keyboard. This is the layout. There are some computer that also has other layouts, but basically this is the most generally used layout of a keyboard. You see that some computers that are made maybe in Japan or so on, they have differences. So this is the QWERTY layout. So most of the computer, if you count the keyboard or the keys on your computer, you see mostly they are 104, which we said it is keyboard uses the QWERTY layout named for the first 6 keys in the top row of the letters. Example include the standard keyboard and the wireless keyboard. You have what you know as the standard keyboard. The standard keyboard is the one that is integrated with your system unit or your motherboard. While the wireless keyboard is the one that you can use maybe by using the USB port. You are going to connect the input port into your computer, while anywhere you are, you can use your keyboard. The difference between the wireless keyboard is the wireless keyboard is the one that you can use your computer, you can attach it to your computer without the use of the wire. Mostly they used to come with one USB device in which you are going to use. So we also have what we know as the mouse. The mouse is the primary pointing device. The function of the mouse is to point. So the number one, the primary pointing device is known as what is known as the mouse. It's an input device that allows you to control a pointer on the screen. The mouse can be used to issue commands. You can double click, which is an example. You can draw with your mouse, and as well you can perform other tasks with the mouse. Example include the optical mouse, the cordless mouse. We know what is known as the optical mouse. We are coming to see that. Then we also have what is known as the functions of the mouse. One of the function of the mouse is the pointing. You can use mouse to point. You can use mouse to click. You can also use mouse to right click or left click. You can also use it for dragging. You can also use it for highlighting. These are the basic functions of the mouse. So we now look at what we know as the touch screen. The touch screen is also an input device because whenever you touch your screen, it allows your computer to detect whatever you are commanding it or where you are touching and what you want to assign to it. So monitor has a touch sensitive panel, which is used to issue simple commands or choose from a list of options. Example, the ATM machine with touchscreen, the mobile phones, and even some computers or some mini computers as well. So all these devices are enabled with the touchscreen. We also have what you know as a pointing stick. The pointing stick, it is a pressure-sensitive pointing device shaped like a pencil eraser, mostly used in mobile phones. You know, by then when you have the coming of the Android phones, you see that some Android phones, they used to come with something like a stick where you see people touching the screen, wherever somebody is touching it with like a pencil or something. So that is what we know as the pointing stick. We also have what's known as the trackball. This is a mouse-like, but the ball is on the top, often used on portable computers. You see some computers have something like a ball in the middle of their their keyboard, and sometimes beside the mouse. You see it like a ball, like the ball inside a roll-on lotion we used to have. So that is what we know as the trackball. As well, we have what you know as the webcam. The webcam is also assists in imputing your image or your picture into the computer or in capturing, often used as a camera for the computer. You don't call it camera. This the one we are using, we use it, we call it webcam. That is the proper name to call it. We also have what you know as the joystick. This is used for the movement of a vertical lever, often used with games. Those that are very good in playing games. I know we all know this device here you are seeing in this picture. This is what you know as the joystick. You use it for playing games, especially for those of you who are using gaming computers. So other devices, we also have what you know as that is all for the input devices we are taking. Now we also have what you know as the output devices. These are devices that display the results of data after they have been processed. Whenever a computer received your input or your data through the input device, so now when the computer processes it, now it gives you it as output with the help of the output device. So making information available to the user by converting the electronically generated information into human readable form. So now see the example of the output devices. We have what you know as the CRT monitor, the TFT monitor, the laser printer, the inkjet printer, the dot matrix printer, the speaker. We also have the plotters. You also have what's known as the multimedia projectors. So we are going to see some, well, as I said earlier, others assignments for you, so that whenever we are discussing in our next class, you tell us the functions of this, where they are used, and what is their differences. So The output devices. We say the output device, these are devices that display the result of data after they have been processed, making information available to users by converting the electronically generated information into human readable form. Example is the monitors. We say the monitors, these are screen housed in a plastic or metal case used in displaying computer information in pixels resolution. Example include the cathode ray tube, the CRT, and the LCD screen, that is the LCD monitors. In our, when we are having the next class, these are things I'm going to ask. What's the difference between the cathode ray and the LCD? Then after you answer the question, then we are going to discuss the difference. If actually you are right or you are wrong, we're going to discuss it. So we also have what we know as the printers. The printer, we all know what a printer is, an output device as well that produces text and graphics on a physical medium such as paper or transparency film. The printout is called hard copy. What you print out from the printer is known as hard copy. Types of computer, we have the impact printers, which example is the dot matrix printers. We have what you know as the non-impact printers, which is the inkjet printers. We also have what you know as a laser printer, which is they are more high, in terms of speed, they are higher, they are high quality and very high quality resolution that they're able to print from 300 dpi to 1200 dpi. So these are types of printers. We also have what's known as the projectors. The projector, as you can see, an example of a projector here, it allows an audience to view information on a clear interface. Example include the LCD projectors and the digital light processing projectors. These are example of the diagram you can see here. We also have what's known as a multifunctional devices. Please, someone is making noise at the background movement. You can unmute yourself. You can mute yourself, please. Please kindly mute yourself, Ahmed C. Multifunctional devices. What are multifunctional devices? These are devices that can print, they can scan, they can copy, and fax, occupying less space and having a lower cost than separate units. The multifunctional devices, just we say the 3-in-1 printer. You are able to print, you can photocopy, you can scan with it, and as well, it has the fax functionality. Unlike printers that they can only print, they cannot photocopy. So these are multifunctional devices. We also have, Mukhtar, please unmute yourself. We also have what you know as the central processing in the CPU. A CPU is the brain of the computer. It is responsible for all functions and processes. Regarding computer power, the CPU is the most important element of a computer system. The CPU is comprised of 3 main parts. The CPU, which I explained earlier, it comprises of 3 main parts. Let me just have a recap. The CPU is the main engine of the computer, actually. Without the CPU, there is no computer. It's just like saying that, it's just like having a TV. A TV, it is useless without you connecting it with a CD or a satellite connected devices, that is the receivers, or you call some decoders or so on. So the main engine of the computer is the CPU. It is the one that tells the computer what to do, how to do, and so on. So the CPU, as I said, it comprises of 3 parts. There is what we know as the arithmetic logic unit. The arithmetic logic unit executes all the arithmetic and logical operations. The arithmetic calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So there is a part of the CPU that is responsible for anything that has to do with arithmetics or that has to do with calculations. So this is what we know as the ALU, known as the arithmetic logic unit. Please, someone, I think I have to unmute you myself. Amatsi Umar, please, you've been unmuting yourself. Please stop that. You're distracting us. So as I said, it's basic important is to carry out calculations and logical operations like compare numbers, letters, or special character. That is the function of the arithmetic logic unit. Then we have also what you know as a control unit, which is the CU. The controls and coordinates computer components. This is the function of the control unit. There is a part that is responsible for the calculation, while there is a part that is responsible to control all other functions, like read the code for the next instruction to be executed, increase the program counter so it points to the next instruction, read whatever the data the instruction requires from the cell in the memory, provide the necessary data to the ALU or the register. So the control unit, it is like the boss among them. It is one that gives the main command. Okay, it tells the computer this is a calculation aspect, go to the ALU, go to the arithmetic, or this is something that has to do with the work of the register, go to the register. So that is that. Then we now also have what we known as the registers. What are the registers? The registers, they are the one that are responsible for storage. It stores the data that is executed next, very fast storage area. So in computer, it's either you are working on something or you store something which you want to work with. So the register, it is the one that is responsible to execute whatever you want to do next, your next task. For example, whenever I want to work, whenever, for example, I'm setting an alarm for my computer, it is the work of the register to take note of that. It takes command for the next thing to be done. So whenever I set a wallpaper to be changing after 5 minutes, that is the work of the register to make sure those things are working fine. I believe we all understood that. So these are the subdivisions of also the CPU, the central processing unit. Now we have what you know as the storage unit. The computer memory storage is classified into two. We have what is known as the primary storage, and we have what is known as the secondary storage. So this is very important. All of you that used to ask what is hard disk, what is RAM, when you want to buy a computer, they'll be asking what is RAM, what is this and that, what is the space of the RAM. So it's very important to you. So the primary storage is used to store data, instructions, and information. Example is the operating system. The operating system and other software, application program, data being processed by the application and so on. So in your computer, the memory, just like you have the memory card on your phones, the memory storage. So the computer also has its own. This storage, it is known as, it could be the RAM or ROM. The primary type of the internal memory are ROM or RAM. Are we understanding? So one, okay, I think I'm going to make a clarification on the ROM as well at the end. So it is mostly associated, it is always joined with the hard disk, but there's a difference between the ROM and the hard disk actually. The RAM, what is the RAM? The RAM stands for RAM, it stands for Random Access Memory. It is a memory scheme within the computer system responsible for storing data on a temporary basis. Now, when I'm working on this, the memory that holds on this now, that is displaying this information I'm sharing my screen with, it is the work of the RAM. That is why the higher your RAM, the faster the way your computer processes something, or the faster the way your computer displays something at the main time you are working on it. So it is the RAM that allows the storage of a computer for a temporary basis. Now, for example, when I'm typing something on Microsoft Word, or when, for example, I decide to type something on this screen using my whiteboard, what holds it at that main time it is the RAM. But the moment I type Control S, or I tell the computer to save it, it is now being saved on the on the hard disk. So when you are working temporarily, what is making that thing to be displayed at that time without you saving it on your computer is the work of the RAM, RAM. It is volatile in nature, which means that data will be erased once supplied to the storage device. That is why your computer or your phone, sometimes you see that it is asking that you should make it at the optimal mode. Whenever you open different softwares or application on your computer, you open like 10 applications, you see that your handset is going to be very, very slow. But when you minimize and you cancel some softwares, you see that it's going to be sorry, your computer is going to be very fast, or your handset is going to be very fast. So it's because you have accumulated many things. You are telling your RAM to hold many programs at the same time when you have not saved. You are typing on your WhatsApp, you have not saved it, and you minimize, you will switch to your Facebook, you've not saved something, or you moved to your WPS, you have not saved. All of it, these things, you have not saved them, and in case you switch off your phone, you are going to miss it because you did not save it. So at that time when you have not saved it, it is the work of the RAM that is making those documents, or that is making those applications to hold or to operate at that same time. So we say it is volatile in nature, which means that data will be erased once supplied to the storage devices is turned off. Once supply to the storage device is turned off, RAM stores data randomly, and the processor accesses this data randomly from the RAM as well. So this is the diagram of the RAM. This is how the RAM look like. You always ask RAM, may RAM in computer, what is the size of the RAM? So these are RAMs. They come in different in different models. We have the DDR, we have the PC, and you have the PCL. It depends the computer based on the generation of your computer. It's the one that determines what type of RAM your computer is. I can have a RAM in my computer, and it might not be compatible with the RAM of your own computer. So, but when the generation is the same, or they have the same type of system unit, our RAM can be interchanged. It is a hardware which can be interchanged as well. So the next thing is the ROM, the ROM. We say it's a permanent form of storage. ROM stays active regardless of whether power supply to it is turned on or off. ROM devices do not allow data stored on them to be modified. Yes, for example, you will be very, for example, you have what's known as the BIOS on the computer. What saves that BIOS? It is the ROM. That is the main setting of your computer. And as well, one of the function is, whenever you be surprised that when you on your computer now and you switch it off, whenever you on it again, your time is going to continue. So Umar Farouk Hassan, please off your mic, please. Umar Farouk, can you off your phone? Off your mic, please. Thank you. So this ROM, there are things that holds the main information of the computer. As I made example of, whenever you be surprised that when you on your computer, you see your time is, you can see that your time now is 11:14. And when you on it in the night, it's not going to continue from the 11:14. No, it's going to tell you the actual time you are working on that same time. So what stores that information and allows it to continue working? This is one of the work of the ROM. Not only that, the BIOS setup, when you press F1 on your computer or any other function, depending on the type of computer you work with. So what saves that information? It is known as the ROM on your computer, which we all know as the BIOS. For those people who are going to the advanced class, we are going to explain to them deeply what these are. For those that are going to be studying hardware, or those that are going to be going to hardware on software, they are going to understand this better. So we also have what is known as the secondary storage. The secondary storage, this stores data and programs permanently. It's retained after the power is turned off. Hard example is the hard drive. You can see this is the hard drive. This image you are seeing here, this is, you see that some people will tell you my computer has 500 gig hard disk. My computer has 1 terabyte. My computer has 250 gig hard disk. My computer has this and that. So this is example of a secondary storage. This is where all, even this information and this information and I'm displaying here, it is saved on my hard disk. This is the memory card of the computer. This is how it looks like. It can be changed. It can be substituted whenever your computer crash or something, or your computer is broken off, or you had an accident. They can remove your hard disk and all your information is safe. And you can put it in another computer, and your computer and all your information is retrieved. So this is one of the importance of the hard disk. We say a hard disk is a part of the unit often called the disk drive or hard drive or hard disk drive. It is all the same thing. That store and provides relatively quick access to the large amount of data on an electromagnetically charged surface or set of surface. It is called a hard disk because it is made up of metallic disk plates housed in a protective metal case. The read or write head moves just above the surface of the rapidly rotating disk to read or write data. All this that, in summary, all what this is saying is talking on how the hard disk functions. Had this been, I have the physical one with me, I could have displayed all this thing we are talking. But meanwhile, you can see it, or whenever for those that are going to be going for the advanced class, probably after the class, if the provision is made, you are going to physically look at all these things one or in deep. So we also have what you know as the optical disk. It's an example of secondary storage unit. In a nutshell, the primary storage, they are the ones that comes with the computer basically, and the computer cannot work without them. But the secondary storage, they are the ones that you can easily change, and some, once you have the basic, the computer can work without them, but it cannot save or execute some other programs without them. So this is one of the differences. An optical disk drive, which is the ODD, is a disk drive that uses laser light as part of the process of reading or writing data through or from optical disk. Some drives can only read from disk, but recent drives are commonly both readers and recorders. There are some drives that they can only record, but they cannot read, while some they can only read but cannot record. But for this one, the ones we are having now, they can both read and record. They are also called burners or writers. Compact discs, DVDs, Blu-ray discs are common types of optical media which can read and record by such drives. The CD, what are the difference between CD and DVD? I believe most of us don't know this, or people have been contemplating what are the differences. CDs actually can store up to 700 megabytes of data. That is, it can store less than the DVDs, while DVDs can store up to 8.4 gig of data. So you can see the differences. The difference is in terms of storage. Whenever you are storing something of a higher gig, so you have to use DVD. Don't go and buy CD disc. So, but whenever you are storing something very little, less than 700 megabytes, you can use CD for that. So we also have what you know as the Blu-ray disc, which are the newest type of the optical media. It can store up to 50 gig of data, the Blu-ray disc. This I've shown you where the disk can be imputed when I'm describing the when I was describing the hardware. The storage capacity is clear advantage over the floppy disk or storage media. So this is example of what we're saying. This is the Blu-ray disc, as you can see. This is the optical. This is where the optical disc is imputed, and we also have what's known as the floppy disk. Oh, we're having only 10 minutes. I think I'm going to be concluding now. So we also have what's known as the flash. The flash disk is also a secondary device. which is a storage module made up of flash memory chips. A flash disk have no mechanical platers or access arms, but the term disk is used because the data are accessed as if they were on hard drive. That is why they are called flash drive, or they are called disk. The disk storage structure is emulated as well. So this is example. This is a difference between comparison between the RAM and the hard drive. The RAM is also a memory, while the hard drive is also a storage. It is used for storage. While RAM are basically smaller than the hard drives. RAM are smaller, typically 500 MB to 6 MB. It could be 8 MB. It could gig. It could be up to even 12 gig, depending, and so on. While hard disks, they are larger. They can be from 80 gig, they can be SATA or IDE, or so on. It could be up to 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, even higher terabyte. The RAMs function as a temporary storage of files. They serve as temporary storage device, while the hard disk, it is used as a permanent storage. The RAM as well is little like your real desktop, has only your current work on it, which could be run by a spill of Coke or coffee. Okay, the RAM, how it works actually, on your table, let's assume you have a table. Your table is a hard disk, while your book you are working on, the present book, your table could be filled with many books. So, but the one you are working on, the book you are opening or you are working on presently, it is being operated. It is being given to you, or the access is being granted by the RAM. But all other books, you also have it on your own table, and that your other books, they are things that are stored on your hard disk. Then the next thing is contents disappear when you turn off your computer on the RAM, while when you turn off your computer, the things that on the hard disk remains. It consists of chips, that is the microprocessors, while for the hard disk, it consists of hard disk, that is the platers. When you want to use a program, a temporary copy is put into the RAM, and that is the copy you use. While for the RAM, they hold the original copy of the program permanently. And I think we are going to stop here. So in our next class, we look at the computer system unit. We are only having less than 6 minutes to go. So we are going to make use of this remaining 6 minutes to have a question and answer or suggestion or some other things that ought to be done. And I hope that you are able to catch one or two things. Once again, thank you for your presence and listening to the presentation. Please, in case you have any question, the floor is open for questions before we have the conclusive part. And I'm going to suggest, maybe you can give your own suggestion if you think we could have another class in the night in order to compensate the class we missed last week. So inshallah, we are so that we put that into schedule. Hopefully in the night, if I'm having a time, I'm going to share the link. So I would like to hear your own opinions as well. So thank you so much. So the class is open for question and answer. If you have any question, please kindly say it, please. Can I show the hard disk, sir? Somebody is asking, can he show the hard disk? I do not understand your question. Can I show the hard disk? Somebody using iPhone, I do not understand your question as well. Do you mean, can I show you the hard disk? I believe I've already shown you how the hard disk is. Yes, during my presentation. Yeah, anyone speaking? You cannot speak, you can type your question, please, at the chat, or more like.
Hello?
Yes, Zahreddin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please, can we have the recorded session of the recording of the session?
Yes, I'm going to upload it on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to share this the the link. Sorry, I couldn't upload the last classes. I'm going to do that as well and share it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You are most welcome.
Okay.
Any other person? Any other person, please? Question. Okay. I mean, I have it with me right now. Okay. You have it with you. Yes. If you can show it. You can share your screen. I believe you can share your screen. You can show it when you set up. You can just let me know so that everyone can see it. Any other? We have Mukhtar, we have Hafsa, we have Ahmad C, and others. Anyone with a question, please kindly respond. I'm taking note of those people that are actually participating in the class. Maybe at the end of the program, I might say one or two things. So I'm very, very much aware of people who have been attending the class actually. So any other person is like, the person using iPhone, you wanted, I can see, you can share it. When you share it, you are going to see it. So I think in the absence of any question, I have an assignment. The assignment is, I think I'm going to post it on the group. So, okay, Mukhtar, A112. Mukhtar, what's your question? Yeah, raising your hand, Mukhtar. Do you have any question?
Hello. Yes, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Good morning, everyone. I thank you very much for what you are doing for us, sir. We really appreciate.
You're welcome.
Mine is more of suggestion.
Yeah.
Considering that we missed last week's session and yesterday, so I think it is better if you have another session later in the night, please, if you have a chance.
Okay, me too. I'm looking on to that actually. Inshallah, I think
thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Mukhtar. I think I will just take to what Mukhtar said as well. I think I'm also comfortable with that so that we're able to finish up. We only have 4 weeks to carry on the basic aspect before we get to the advanced.
Inshallah, 2 weeks is gone already.
Yeah. So hopefully tonight I'm going to share the link. I hope, I pray I should be available. Yesterday I was actually, due to some reasons, I couldn't join.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Salisu Garba Ibrahim, you did not say anything. Ahmad C. Umar, Nafi Salihu, Munir Abdullahi, Hafsa. Please, you can all speak up, or if you have anything. Okay, my question is, I said I'm going to forward the question to the group. So please, you can read on it so that we have some little discussion tonight. It's going to be more interactive. That is what is going to tell me or let me know if actually you are following through. So I'm going to post the question to the group, inshallah, so that you read through, so we have a better understanding. So I think that is that for the, okay, Mukhtar, you want to say something as well? You can go and you can unmute yourself, if that's not a mistake. Okay. Looking forward for the assignment. Inshallah, I'm going to do that. Thanks for the amazing session. Thank you for the amazing attendance too. We are all learning. I'm just learning too. So it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Sister Hafsa. Thank you too. So inshallah, we are going to meet. We have less than 1 minute to go. So it's going to be terminated the class. Salisu Garba, thank you too. And I think, so thank you so much for the attendance. See you in the night session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.